Hello and welcome to TSG Foundation's Wisdom of the Zodiac class. Today's lesson and meditation will be taken from Volume 3 of Wisdom of the Zodiac by Torquem Serdarian, Chapter 8, titled Libra, Balanced Life. This is a beautiful chapter to remind us about what is the true meaning of balance. The keynote in this chapter is to find balance through your deep search and affirmation of your values and the standards with which you want to live. Give these some thoughts and find out what are really and truly my standards, the standards with which I live every day. And not just give them intellectual notice or in your mind or in your heart, but actually try to put them into practice. That's where the rubber hits the road, so to speak, that you try to put into practice the things that you learn. There is plenty of material in the world today in spiritual matters. Lots of books and guidelines and teachers and seminars and conferences, all giving you the rules of conduct, virtues and values of conduct, standards by which to live. Our culture, our religion, our society, all has values and standards with which we operate. But you have to go deep inside of you during this month and find out what are my standards, my values with which I live and I want to live, so that I continue growing from day to day, year to year, lifetime after lifetime. This is what the whole keynote is. So let me read then on page 85. Open your pages to 85. This is volume 3 again. And let me read that first paragraph. It is really beautiful and sets the standard for the entire chapter for us. Libra is a symbol of balance, and we all know that. It is a symbol of balance of the two scales that we see, for example, in courts and lawyers' offices, but it's really a symbol that we can put in our own life, on our own desks, whether we are of Libra, sun or moon or rising, it doesn't matter. During this month, every disciple, every serious person, every aspirant who wants to put inner values into external manifestation will try to think about what are my standards and how do I bring my life into balance using those standards, okay? So Libra is a symbol of balance. Libran energy brings balance in our life, okay? So you're going to take pause at this time. We've worked very hard the first few months of the zodiacal new year from Aries on, all these different keynotes every month. Now we're going to take pause, a deep breath, and try to find what is it that we need to do to find balance in our life. And it is very important that we live a balanced life. It's true. In order to be healthy, we have to have balance. We need to have balance in our thoughts, in our emotions, in our words, in our actions, in our intentions, our motives. Everything has to be balanced. So this is a very important idea, and I don't want you to take it lightly or, oh yes, balance, yes, that's nice, I'm balanced. No, take it seriously and really take time to think about this month. Next paragraph. In order for balance to be achieved, okay, listen very carefully, we must have standards, okay? Our standards fill 1 cup of the balance, and there are 5 main standards. Sometimes Torquem talks about 5 standards or 7 standards. Here he mentions beauty, goodness, truth, and joy, and he adds health or sanity. These are really beautiful. If we measure our life, our thoughts, emotions, and activities according to these standards, then we will live a beautiful life. Okay, let's look at standards. Standards are very, very important. We can call them spiritual values, virtues, and there are hundreds of them. For example, we have several volumes, 3 volumes on virtues and values from A to Z. If you feel like you run out of standards or values, take a look at those books. They're beautiful. And so there are many, many virtues and values we are taught in our family, in our religious upbringing, in our culture, our society. But you have to think deep inside of you at this time. Forget the culture, forget the religion, just put that all aside for a month if you can. Forget your own personal proclivities, your own desires even. What is it that I wish for or I hope for? Put that aside and go back deep inside of you and say, what are my standards? My physical standards, emotional standards, material standards such as money, beauty in your life, and so on. Your relationship standards, the standards for my emotions, the standards for the words that I speak, for the things that I write. Now imagine if everybody in the world, or a large number of people in the world, asked this question at this time. How much suffering and ill will we can eliminate by just that one question. What are my standards? And how am I willing to live by those standards? So these are very, very important. At the bottom of the page, let me read a few lines. If you play with your standards, that means you don't take them seriously, and you try to compromise them, that means you try to say, oh, you know, that's okay, but it doesn't apply to me, or I'll just cheat a little today. What are we doing? We're just cheating ourselves and joking with ourselves, thinking that we really are getting away with something when we really know we're not. Look what happens. Karma will eventually catch you because you are acting illegally. You see, there is spiritual legality inside of you that says, if my standards are not followed as much as I can, then something in life will teach me, will bring things to bear where I will have to uphold those standards and change my life according to those standards. That's what karma is. See, you cannot change these standards. You can't change them. Why is that? Because they are given to us or set to us by the great creative forces of the universe called God. And these standards are not negotiable. You see, these are very, very important. And in our society, when we start distorting standards that are set for us by the highest, not by a particular religion, so think about that carefully, not by a particular culture, but not by a particular dress code or moral code. These are standards that cannot be broken, and you have to find out what those are. Let's go to the next page, page 86. The great ones are great ones that we know throughout history, great leaders, great spiritual teachers. They are great because they live according to what they believe. Okay, so this is a Libra time, is to test your faith, your standards. It is deep. It's not moving from one thing to another. You can see very clearly in Libra that you're standing still and you're pondering and digging deeply, deeply, not just surface anymore, not just saying nice platitudes, I believe in this, that, and the other, but going deeply into really what's inside of you. Their standards are not distorted. Their balance is clear. Okay? But we do not live this way, do we? Of course not. We try, and sometimes we say, oh, nobody's looking, who cares? But we know better. One side of us is dedicated to great concepts, ideas, and visions, and the other side is stuck in the mud. Look how many platitudes people say from pulpits, great leaders on television, writers on internet and Facebook and blogs and so on, but do we live according to them? Well, we can answer that ourselves. You must raise your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual life and balance it with your standards so that you can fly. This is beautiful. Now look at where this takes us. You can fly with only one, you cannot fly rather with only one wing. In order to fly, you must be balanced by two wings. One wing is your spiritual life, and the other wing is your physical, emotional, and mental manifestation. So when you think of your spiritual life, or your daily life should really be reflecting of your spiritual standards, you think of what are my standards, and then number two, on the other side, how well do I uphold those standards in my life? And by the way, in our meditation practice, in the evening review practice, these are the things that you bring home to your life, and you say, did I really live by my standards today? How can I change my daily expression so that they reflect my deepest and innermost standards? Now go into the middle of page 86. This is very important, and it forms the philosophical foundation of what Torquem is trying to teach us in these 4 volumes of Wisdom of the Zodiac. It's very, very important. What you are is not determined by your sun sign. Okay, this is really important. Your rising sign and so on. This is very important. People say they are this sign, that sign. They're so proud of it. We have this ray in us, that ray. But are you really? That's a really tough question. There is so much information and so much understanding of the zodiacal signs, but Torcum is trying to do something completely different for us in these 4 volumes. I don't see any other books written like this anywhere. He's trying to bring us ethics and standards with which to live. The wisdom of the zodiac. The zodiac doesn't care whether you are Capricorn or Aries or Libra or Sagittarius. It doesn't care. At the end of the day, we have to be able to develop all 12 qualities, all 7 rays, all of them in our life. Okay? It's not just one thing or the other. How can that be? If so much is available for us, why not develop all of them one by one by taking the standard of that sign and then raising our daily expression to that standard? Look at what it says in that same paragraph. But by a system of ethics and wisdom and how you live according to it. Okay? What you are is not determined by your rising sign, your moon sign, your sun sign, but by the system of ethics and wisdom and how you live according to it. Okay? We are not trying to teach more information, but the process of transformation so that you can become the true soul that you are inside. That's what we're trying to work toward. Who cares what you know if you are not living a balanced life? Okay, who cares what we know? There's so much information in the world. Are we living a balanced life? And in this definition, he is saying a balanced life is a life lived according to our inner, deepest standards that are not negotiable. So you're going to find what those are for you. Okay? Now, what are some of the signs or symbols of Libra? Let me just highlight them before we go to our 5 days of meditation. The first one, Libra, on the bottom of page 86. Libra is a symbol of beingness, becomingness, and self-actualization. Of course, when you think about standards, and then on the other side you think of actualizing those in your life, what are you doing? You are changing the very cells and atoms of your life. You are taking initiations. Initiations are not given to us by a piece of paper, by somebody saying you are now initiated into this brotherhood, big deal. That's not what it's about. True esoteric occult initiation is when you change the material expression of your life to reflect your inner standards and values and virtues. Isn't that beautiful? I think so. Let's go to the top of page 87. What's another symbol of Libra? It is righteousness. Remember back to the scales of justice. Justice is man-made laws, but behind those is the ideal of God's righteousness. Every time you think about Libra, ask, am I righteous? Okay? People want to learn metaphysical and occult things. Of course we do. They're interesting, they're exciting. Learning is always beautiful. But the most important thing is that you are righteous in your life. You're righteous to the bodies that you have, to the family that you have, to the money that you have, to the material well-being that you have, to the freedom that you enjoy, to your beautiful friends, and the kind of service you can do for all of life. So this is, you have to ask, what is it that I am living a righteous life and expressing really and truly what it is inside of me? Are all your thoughts really righteous? Do they meet your standard? Oh boy, that's an ouch. Are my thoughts really righteous? Do they meet my standards? Are your actions righteous? Ask yourself. You must balance your life to the spiritual standard of righteousness. Okay, it's really beautiful. Let's go to the next page, 88. Balance is the symbol of synthesis and wholeness. Of course, when we are balanced, our digestive system works, our breathing works, we are healthy and vibrant, we sleep when we need to sleep, we are awake and vibrant and vital when we are. Everything is beautiful and full of wholeness in our life when we are balanced. Isn't that true? Think about it. When you feel you're not well, think of what is it that's unbalanced in my life. Every time you feel down or upset or unwell, think of that question and think, what are the standards that I am living by that brings me to that imbalance, and what do I need to do in order to bring myself back into balance? All virtues are balanced in purity. That's another symbol of Libra, purity. Let me read that again, page 88, second paragraph. All virtues are balanced in purity. See, this is really important and brings back into my mind that people think balance is a little good, a little bad, a little light, a little dark, all mixed together, nice. That's not what it is. A truly balanced life is one that is pure, really, really pure. And in that purity, you find the way that you can express your real standards. Okay, so think of purity. It's so beautiful. Now, how can we create balance in our life? Torkom gives us 5 steps. You know, he's so practical. He gives us first the philosophy, the theory behind the wisdom of that sign, and then he gives us practical steps to express them. And again, we have 5, and that gives us the opportunity during the full moon week to take 5 days. If you want to take more, you can. You can double up on each one or do 3 days on each one, depending on when you start practicing and celebrating the full moon of Libra. You can start at the beginning of the month, right before the full moon, or any time when you are in that sign of Libra, or any time during the year that you need to find balance in your life. Use these principles. You see, I don't think these principles can be limited to the month of Libra. I think they can be used any time in your life that you are feeling out of sorts, imbalanced, unhappy, and you think, how can I bring balance in my life? Take 5 days, 5 times, and let's do these meditations. The first one, increase the beauty in your life expressions, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Imagine if you focused completely on beauty all the time. You purchased things that are beautiful, you wrote things that are beautiful, you said things that are beautiful, you dressed beautifully, and you had a beautiful home. I'm not talking about expensive, I'm talking about beauty. And if you did that, how you are encouraging beauty to be all around you, that other people can see and enjoy with you. And also, when you buy things that are beautiful, it encourages people who create beauty to create more. So look at what it says. Beauty balances you because beauty is nothing else but the manifestation of spirit in matter in its completeness. I love that. Dedicate yourself to beauty. Buy beautiful things. Increase the beauty in your visualization, in your imagination, in your relationships. Be beautiful. You know, our latest released book is called The Psychology of Imagination and Visualization. That book, plus the book Joy and Healing, plus the book Happiness, Joy and Bliss, these books have visualizations, imaginations, and creative imaginations that create beauty, healing, and health and well-being in you. Take a look at those books and do those exercises. They are fantastic. So bring beauty in your life. So one day you are going to ask yourself, what is beauty? And I'm going to do a simple meditation at the end of this session so that you can copy that to each of these seed thoughts. There are a lot of kinds of meditations, but the kind we will do is called a seed thought or occult meditation. What is the second thing that you are going to do? And that is increase your joy. I remember Torkom saying the bear has 8 songs and they're all about honey. Well, he said his songs were all about meditation. I'm going to add to that honey meditation and joy. Excuse me. Joy is so important to bring into your life. I teach lessons continuously on joy, and it's something you can do on your own or join a joy and healing class. Joy brings balance in your life because it throws out the poisons in your system that create imbalance in you. We have so many poisons inside of us, all locked up and locking the joy inside of us. If you release that joy, you will see how the balance and the beauty in your life will increase. Okay, enough said about joy. I really will say it again and again. You can't go wrong studying joy and healing and increasing the joy in your life. Number 3, and if you're doing this during the full moon time, this is the day of the full moon. Number 3, practice harmlessness. Oh boy, do we need harmlessness in our life. That's on page 89. Let me read. Every time you are harmful, you create imbalance because you create karma. Karma means imbalance. It means a debt you have to pay. It means a wound that you have to heal, a hurt that you have to heal and make better in your life and in the lives of others. So this is important. Practice harmlessness. And what is it that will create harmlessness in your life? Harmlessness in your own body, in your health, in your weight even, in your sleep, in your day, in your service, in your communications. It is really a big word that we need to think about. And we will do a meditation that will take all of these seed thoughts into consideration. You can choose a seed thought and use that format that I will use at the end of the session. Number 4, be tolerant. Boy, do we need tolerance in our life now. Everywhere in the world, tolerance is the most important standard that we can have right now. If we are tolerant, we can be harmless, we can bring beauty, we can bring joy into our life. So let's see, it says, do not be fanatic. See, don't be fanatical. Even in your spiritual disciplines, don't be fanatical. Strive, but don't say, oh, that's the only way to do it. It's not. See, every time you're fanatical, you are unbalanced. Fanatical people look crazy. They look crazed and imbalanced, don't they? So this is what we're trying to avoid. Fanaticism creates crimes, hatred, malice, and jealousy, does it? Tolerance creates holism in you. A fanatical person does not have a balanced mind. It's true, they're crazy. He is always crooked. They are always trying to do something for their own gain. You see, this is very important. An imbalanced, intolerant life eventually creates mental illness, emotional illness, physical illness, all kinds of illnesses in our lives, and makes people get away from us, makes us look completely inhuman and inhumane. So be tolerant. And how to develop tolerance in my life? And we might think we are tolerant. We might tolerate things that should not be tolerated in our life. That's a bigger question to ask, isn't it? What is it that we tolerate? What is it that we do not need to tolerate? And what is it to mean not to be a fanatic? These are big philosophical questions. They cannot be answered just in one simple meditation. It's something that you can really think about. What are the ways to be tolerant? Why to be tolerant? What is the cause of tolerance? What is the purpose of tolerance? And what is it that I am tolerant toward? Okay, these are big questions that you need to be thinking about. I love this one, number 5. I've talked about this before. Practice blessing. I love it. Practice blessing. Wow, it's so beautiful. Let me read that paragraph and then you can read the rest of it. Page 89, bottom of the page. Practice blessing. Blessing releases the divine glory within you, because you are blessing not just as a person, but you're blessing as a soul, as a divinity. When your energy or electricity is released and goes out to others, you are balanced. Look what that means. We are always receiving from others. We are taking and taking from life and energy all the time. Blessing makes you balanced by giving it out. You see how important that is? I want you to really think about that. Blessing integrates the mechanism to the source and you become balanced. You are integrating yourself to the source of your energy, the source of your wisdom, the source of your blessing, and you are taking and you're giving. So when you are blessing, remember you are being blessed and you are blessing. So think of it as a two-way street. You are taking and you're giving. When someone hurts you, do not curse him or hate him or her. As long as you have malice, hatred, and jealousy, fear, or belittling criticism, you cement yourself to the earth. Then your flight will be so difficult because your tail will be frozen in the icy water of hatred, intolerance, and ugliness. So think about this and be a blessing. Bless people, especially those who hurt you, toward whom you feel regret and pain. To release that, practice blessing. I can think of no other practice to do when you're feeling down and upset, but to do a blessing. And we'll do some of that at the end too. You might say, what do I bless? Bless your toes, your body, the beautiful things you have around you, your family. Bless the fact that you're alive, that you can read and listen to these beautiful teachings. Bless the fact that you can meditate. Bless the fact that you can do something wonderful, no matter how little or big, to uplift somebody else. Okay, it's really important. Look at the mystery and the secret of blessing. Really think about that. Look at page 90, middle of the page. Maybe you do not realize that you are here now because there is balance in your life. Think about that. You would not exist if there was no balance in your life. You would evaporate or become totally matter. You would not exist as a soul. Balance is the root, the mystery, and the secret of existence. Survival is nothing else but the result of a balanced life. This is true. The reason so many species and races have disappeared is because they did not observe the law of balance. Okay. Now this is really, really beautiful. I'm going to read the last paragraph in this chapter. It is always meaningful for me to read the last statement that Torquem makes before he begins the meditation, because he brings everything together. Let me read that for you at the top of page 91, the end of this chapter. Balance means to bring to life the standards that you have in your heart. Go deep into your heart, not your mind, but your heart that is in your mind, and ask yourself, what are my standards toward this person, toward this life, toward my work, toward my teaching, toward the people that I love? What are my standards? Then you are healthy, joyful, and prosperous in every way. Divine abundance flows through you. This is the message of Libra. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, I love it. So remember again, just to summarize, Libra means balance, and balance is achieved by actualizing the standards that are in your heart. The heart, not in your emotions, the heart that is in your higher mind, the heart of the soul that you are. That's the key for your standards. Okay, we are going to do a beautiful meditation, and I'm going to have it on the seed thought of harmlessness. And remember, harmlessness is the day to practice during the day of the full moon. If you're watching this video the days before or after, go back and do these 5 meditations, but particularly focus on practicing harmlessness the day of the full moon. Okay, so what we are going to do is say the great invocation deliberately, slowly. Think of what it means. We are going to have a seed thought of harmlessness, and I'm going to guide us through step by step. So you're going to think and answer the questions that I'm going to ask. When we are done, of course, take a few minutes and write out your answers, okay? So that you nail down, you bring down the blessings that you receive in your insights. Okay, so sit up straight, close your eyes and put a nice smile on your face, relax yourself. This is not the exact meditation given in this chapter. I changed it a little bit so we can do the meditation on harmlessness. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Think of hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people in the world saying the great invocation with us, sending divine light, divine love, and divine power to every person as a shower of blessings at this time of the year. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Say one Om. Keeping yourself in complete focus, think of what in your physical life that you need to do to become harmless. Physically harmless toward yourself and toward all life around you. Perhaps it's your speech or your actions. Think of harmlessness on the physical level, material level. Now go into your emotions and see how you can be harmless emotionally toward yourself and toward others as well. Now go to the mind and see how you can become harmless mentally, in your thoughts, in your imaginations. How can you be harmless mentally? Are there any persons in your life that you need to think harmless, loving thoughts toward? Do that now. Send harmless, loving thoughts to people that you may not have liked in the past, or people who may have hurt you in the past. Ask yourself, how can I be more harmless in my spiritual work? Are there ways you can use your spiritual wisdom not to judge or hurt others, but to bring deeper understanding to their life? Now, in your imagination, go and stand under a beautiful waterfall that is love energy, not water, but love energy. And just fill yourself with that love energy from the highest source you can imagine. Let that love energy bring blessings to your entire physical body. Just let it bathe you with that love energy of blessing. Let it run all over your emotions and bless you with loving wisdom. Let it clean your mind from regret and pain and remorse and fill you with love and divine wisdom. Now take a deep breath and take in the blessings of divinity, and when you exhale, send blessings to everyone in the world. Take in divine blessing and radiate divine blessing. Now imagine hundreds of us all over the world breathing in divine blessing and radiate out divine blessing. Imagine millions of people breathing in divine blessing and breathe out divine blessing. Repeat after me, standing in that beautiful waterfall of love wisdom. Lead us, O Lord, from darkness to light, from the unreal to the real, from death to immortality, from chaos to beauty. Say one Om. Rub your hands together and open your eyes. This is a beautiful lesson, isn't it? Libra is a time for peacefulness and harmlessness, beauty, balance in your life, blessing, be a blessing to others. Have a time to go deep inside of you. Think about your standards that are in the deepest part of your heart, that is high in your head, in the higher mental plane. That is the soul standards that you have that are given to you by divinity. Think about those non-negotiable standards and see how you can apply them incrementally, little by little in your life, and bring your life in balance with these wonderful higher standards. Thank you for joining me, and it's great to see you, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great day and a wonderful time of Libra full moon. Thank you.